Her brother-in-law had said it at Thanksgiving. Get rid of the dog before the baby starts walking. She almost did. Marguerite Adiemi Voss had been a labor and delivery nurse for 12 years before she became a mother herself, and she had opinions about risk that she rarely had to explain twice. When her sister-in-law suggested the family's Siberian Husky, Coda, might be too much dog for a toddler, Marguerite had privately agreed. Huskies were bred to run, to howl, to test boundaries. Coda had escaped the yard twice. He was, by reputation, an unpredictable breed around small children. 18-month-old Ren had been cranky for almost a week, off his schedule, off his appetite, prone to sudden crying spells that came from nowhere and vanished just as fast. Marguerite chalked it up to a growth spurt or an ear infection brewing. She had seen 1,000 fussy toddlers in her years on the maternity ward. This felt ordinary. Coda did not think it was ordinary. It started on a Sunday. Ren was mid-tantrum on the living room rug, red-faced, arching his back, and Coda came off his bed at a dead run, planting himself directly between Ren and the coffee table, nose lifted, sniffing the air around the boy's face with an intensity Marguerite had never seen from him. "Coda, off," she said. He didn't move. He let out a long, rising howl. Not his play howl, something with an edge to it. Directly over Ren's head, Ren startled and cried harder. Marguerite pulled Coda back by the collar, heart going faster than the moment seemed to require. That would matter later, she didn't know that yet. It happened again Monday, again Tuesday, worse each time. Coda pressing his muzzle to Ren's cheek mid-cry, refusing to be moved, that same rising howl aimed at the ceiling like he was trying to summon someone. By Wednesday, Marguerite's husband Etienne had started sleeping on the couch near the nursery just in case, and neither of them said the word out loud, but they were both thinking it. Her sister-in-law came over Thursday, watched Coda do it once, and said what everyone already believed: you need to rehome him before something happens. Marguerite didn't argue. She had the training, she had the instinct honed over a decade of trusting her gut about risk to infants. That night, Coda went to a kennel run in the garage. Heated, comfortable, management, not punishment. He didn't settle. He howled for 3 straight hours, the sound carrying through the garage wall and into the kitchen, until Etienne finally went out at midnight just to sit with him. Friday, Ren woke up worse, listless. Barely finishing his bottle, Marguerite told herself it was the disrupted week, the stress in the house, ordinary toddler malaise. She almost believed it. At 6:40 that evening, Coda's howling changed. It went from rhythmic to frantic, a sound with real panic behind it, cutting through 2 closed doors. Marguerite was in the garage before she'd finished forming a reason to go. Coda threw himself against the kennel gate the second she opened the door, and didn't stop moving until he reached Ren's room, where he shoved his nose against the boy's slightly parted lips and held perfectly still. Ren's breathing was shallow. His color was off, a gray undertone beneath his normal warmth. Marguerite, 12 years of NICU instinct taking over in a single motion, had him in her arms and was dialing before she'd let herself think the word sepsis. At the hospital, Dr. Halima Okuosa, pediatric infectious disease, ran the panel and delivered the number that changed the whole week in retrospect. Ren had a rapidly progressing bacterial infection, the kind that produces almost no early symptoms beyond irritability and moves from fussy to critical faster than most parents can track. "Whatever brought you in tonight," Dr. Okuosa said quietly, "you were closer to the edge than you realize. Another hour, maybe 2, and this becomes a very different conversation." Marguerite sat with that sentence long after the doctor left the room. Coda pressing his nose to Ren's face during every crying spell, not agitation. He was reading a scent shift on the boy's breath that no monitor in that house could detect. The howling aimed at the ceiling like a signal flare, not wildness, an alarm with no other outlet. The kennel gate, hit and hit again on the worst night, not a dog acting out, a guardian trying to get back to his post. If you're the kind of person who believes animals see things before we do, you're in exactly the right place. Subscribe so you never miss one of these stories. Coda came back inside 2 days later. He didn't run to greet anyone. He walked straight to Ren's crib, lay down against the base of it, and exhaled once, long and slow. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that did? Tell us below. These stories deserve to be heard. Ren finished his course of antibiotics 11 days later. The night his fever finally broke for good, Marguerite found Coda already curled at the foot of the crib, not asleep, eyes open, watching the same small chest rise and fall that he'd been watching all along. If stories like this move you, subscribe. The next one is about a dog who changed his entire routine 3 weeks before anyone in the house knew someone was sick.